Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today here on my channel. If you love what you hear and see, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. So today I want to talk about why even established creatives struggle with visibility. So most creatives that I work with aren't necessarily just beginning in the creative world. They're not necessarily hiding in the shadows. They're not afraid to share their work. They're not afraid to be visible in the obvious ways, like they post and they show up and they entertain the whole artistic endeavor. They've been seen before, and yet something still tightens when their work really starts to land. If that's you, this isn't about fear in the usual way that it's described. It's about something a bit more subtle. The real question isn't, are creatives afraid to be seen? The real question, what kind of being seen are we talking about? Because there's a big difference between being visible, showing your work, posting it online, and fully visible inside your authority. Most creatives are comfortable being seen while managing the perception, right? They explain, they soften, they contextualize, they give people a way out. What becomes uncomfortable is being seen without negotiating who you are. This is what I see again and again. A creative reaches a certain level of mastery, the work deepens, your voice clarifies, your process becomes normal, and suddenly pricing feels charged. Speaking about your work feels heavier. Visibility requires more energy than before. What happened? Not think this doesn't happen necessarily because they're regressing, but because the work is asking for more truth. And at this point, being seen isn't about exposure anymore. It's about claiming authority without performance. And that's where many creatives stall. There's a moment every serious creator reaches, and it's called the threshold. It's the moment where the work no longer wants to be marketed. It wants to be stood behind, like it wants to be supported. And it no longer tolerates dilution, explaining it away, or coming up with some sort of meaning. Crossing this threshold means that there's very little explaining sometimes, fewer justifications for why you made this mark or why you used that color. There's clearer decisions that are made when you're creating. There's firmer pricing. There's quieter confidence. And that can feel very destabilizing, even for someone who's been visible for years. Why this is misread as fear. The moment is often completely mislabeled, and we call it fear. We call it being afraid. And then we wonder why, because we've been seen for years. But it's not fear of being seen, it's the nervous system recalibrating to holding attention. The attention is on you. Holding up money, wealth, holding authority, creative authority, and holding desire all at once. The body isn't asking you to hide, it's asking you to stabilize at a higher caliber or a higher level of truth. What changes everything isn't confidence, it's coherence. When who you are, what you create, how you speak, How you price and how you show up are no longer negotiable with each other inside of you. Visibility stops being something that you brace for and it becomes something that you inhabit. If you've been visible for years and something still feels tense or heavy or charged in some way, it doesn't mean that you're stuck. It means you're standing at a different edge, somewhere between who you've been and who your work now requires you to be. If this resonates, you'll know why. This is the creative threshold. As always, please like and subscribe, and thank you for joining me today.